Welcome to the Australian Business Executive Podcast, where we speak with Australia's most influential industry professionals on the business and economic development issues taking place across the country. You can stay up to date with all our content, including our magazines, podcasts and videos by visiting www.theabe.com.au and clicking on subscribe.
Today's guest is Buy Group General Manager Malcolm Devin. Malcolm has 20 years experience in the construction and development industry delivering high-quality projects. Before starting Buy Group, he was a director at a global property and construction company. As general manager of Buy Group, he has day-to-day involvement in the delivery of each project. He has a broad range of experience in all sectors and asset types of development and construction. He is passionate about providing employment opportunities for Indigenous Australians, and together with his 3 Indigenous friends, started Buy Group to provide a career path into the construction industry for Aboriginal people. 50% of Buy Group staff are Aboriginal, and the company prioritizes the use of Indigenous contractors in its project delivery. Malcolm, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
So tell us how Buy Group started.
Buy Group started with one of the other directors was working for myself and my father in my dad's construction company. And we started talking about him not wanting to or necessarily needing to work for us for the rest of his career, and that there was procurement opportunities through the Indigenous procurement policy that the government had implemented and was starting to mandate throughout government projects. And that's how it sort of started. We thought we might as well establish a company, and who better to run that business than us. And that was the beginning of Buy Group.
Fair enough. And tell us a little bit about where you are now, your size and footprint.
Yeah, so we operate primarily in New South Wales and the ACT. We're Sydney, head office is in Sydney. We've got an office down in the south coast of New South Wales, down in the Shoalhaven region. We're about 35 people at the moment, and primarily our main client is defence, but do a lot of government contracting, Department of Education, TAFE, New South Wales Police, and so on.
My next question was going to be, what sort of clients do you work for? But you're already touching on that. So do you want to just kind of elaborate on the sort of work or tendering that you do for these industries?
Sure. So where tendering works, open tender is how we win most of our projects. Largest client is defence, which has been fantastic for us. It's tough. There's barriers to entry to get into defence projects because they're very onerous on safety and quality. But they've been fantastic for the growth of our business. And then we went through the process of getting pre-qualified and meeting all the requirements for New South Wales government procurement and project delivery as well. So we've had good success with our government clients.
So what are the services that you offer then as part of the Buy Group offering?
So we've got half our business is just general contracting. So we're constructing new builds, fit out, refurb. We do heritage refurb, mainly in commercial buildings. And then we've got a civil construction division where we're doing earthworks, in-ground services, roadworks, and so on as well. So we're fortunate that we've got a couple of strings to our bow.
So do you want to take us through some of the recent things that you've been working on? Sure.
We were recently awarded a large sort of roads package down on the south coast, redoing the roads at both HMAS Creswell and HMAS Albatross, and that'll be carried out through the larger part of this year. So that's on our civil side of things, where we're also doing a large civils and earthworks package for a private developer out at Eastern Creek, which is a large data centre project, as a subcontractor. So that's our main sort of civils focus at the moment. And in construction, we've just finished the refurbishment of the Bathurst Police Station out in Bathurst, and we've started our first New South Wales Fire Brigade project out at Wentworth Falls. So pretty varied range of projects in various locations throughout New South Wales, but it keeps life interesting.
There's a lot of industry issues taking place at the moment, and I guess specific to you, it's a little bit more unique because of your role in working with the Indigenous community. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what's going on the industry side?
Sure. I mean, as everybody, we've just gone through 2 years of pandemic, which has had challenges in terms of COVID management plans and being able to get to locations around the state, which had its challenges. And off the back of that, we're now facing the industry-wide issues of supply chain, logistics, and inflationary price costs for supply items and so on. So they're the challenges that the whole of the construction industry faces. And I guess as an Indigenous business, we're no different to anybody else in terms of them affecting our business, but we've also got a community and a social overlay where we focus on growing our own talent in terms of cadets and apprentices and opening up opportunities for Indigenous suppliers and contractors throughout the projects that we deliver. So it's just another layer of complexity and obligation, but it's that part of the business is something that we're passionate about, and we enjoy delivering those opportunities and outcomes to our clients.
Can I ask you just to open that up a little bit more in terms of how you go through training and mentoring and I guess find and employ Indigenous people?
Yeah, I mean, look, about 50% of our staff are Indigenous, so we source a lot of our staff just through family connections and colleagues and so on within our existing business and network. And we also work closely with organisations such as the Clontarf Foundation, who mentor young Aboriginal guys through year 10 to 12 at high school. So we've been quite successful in working with them to identify some talent and then taking them into our business and providing them with apprenticeship opportunities within our business. It takes a little bit more effort to go out there and source the talent, but we're fortunate that that's now sort of starting to flow through to us as we've got a proven track record in delivering that training and mentoring to our staff.
Excellent. And as we begin to wrap up, Malcolm, is there anything else that I guess is worth discussing or that you haven't had a chance to address?
Oh, look, just in terms of the Indigenous engagement, we win all of our work in open tender, so there doesn't need to be a trade-off between engagement and Indigenous and community outcomes and cost and quality, and that's been a challenge for us to sort of get through that barrier. But we're 5 or 6 years old now, or young, and with our body of work and track record, we're really starting to demonstrate that. And I think it's something that should be sort of recognised out there in the industry, that you don't have to forego value for money or quality to deliver a good community and social outcome. So I guess that's something that's worth noting out there.
Okay, excellent. Well, Malcolm, thanks very much for your time today.
Thank you.
This has been a production of the Australian Business Executive, a division of Romulus Rising Proprietary Limited. All rights reserved. You can stay up to date with the Australian Business Executive, including our magazines, podcasts and videos, by visiting www.theabe.com.au and clicking on subscribe.